Global,
GH.
it stands for Global Health Exchange. It's GHX.
Got it.
In Colorado. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what you've got is you've got a lot of leftover exchanges, where these industries sort of got together. They consolidated their aggregation of their buy, if you would, and kind of said, hey, let's just kind of create this company where we'll do all of our procurement here. We'll get all of our suppliers here. So GHX started that way. It was owned by a consortium of hospitals and tier one sort of manufacturers in the healthcare space, like Baxter, GE, McKesson, etc. But basically, what you would find if you came here to North America, you would find that almost 90% of the connections between hospitals and sort of distributors and manufacturers is completely dominated by GHX. So you will find vertical players inside of these markets. And another example would be is if you go to Germany and you kind of say, hey, is there anybody who kind of hangs out in automotive and sort of in what I call the tier one suppliers? So in automotive, you have the OEMs. That's like BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, Ford, Chrysler, BMW, blah, 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 blah. I'll call those the OEMs. Then take sort of the tier one manufacturers would be people like Bosch or people like, Johnson Controls or Lear Seating, those are the tier ones. And then you got tier two and tier three, okay? The tier one manufacturers in Germany created an exchange many, many, many years ago. And so if you kind of went to Germany and said, where do the players sort of hang out that are large tier one manufacturers in Germany, you'd find that they're on a vendor called Supplion. So there are lots of vertical specialized EDI providers that have a niche where even though you might think, oh, well, people go with IBM or no, they will stay within their industry and they will camp out sort of on their industry provider. So even IBM and OpenText have picked sort of vertical markets as well and specialize in certain vertical markets. So if you were to kind of tell me or come to me and say, I'm looking for a provider that's sort of in retail apparel North America, I would say OpenText. They probably have, 80-90% of the market. So even the large guys have sort of some specialization within certain vertical markets as well. So that's how I would sort of lay it out. There's definitely a size component to it, as you've articulated, which is there's a lot
but
of.
But it's also very much also industry dependent. Got it.
Yeah. There's definitely a vertical element to it that has to be thought of. I mean, Covisint was a vertical element. You guys had a bunch in Europe. Global Freight Exchange, I think, was acquired by Descartes. So there's a lot of historical exchanges that started up in their own vertical markets, and they created sort of, they go to the same conferences. They got together. They kind of said, hey, look, we're in the same industry. We're buying from the same guys. Why don't we get together, create these networks? And then they a lot of them didn't survive, and they ultimately got acquired by other players. But some of them do still exist. Some of them exist but have kind of morphed their story. But the vertical element is an important element to the story.
And sorry, what is the name of the automotive exchange in Germany? Did you say Supplynet or something?
Supplion. I think it's still owned by Bosch and a tire company.
Got it. It's fine. Just so I have it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Google it,
okay.
you'll find it. Yeah.
So is it then okay? So basically, got it. So if you are like high volume supplier, you basically you are gonna be you may be using like GXS. You're probably gonna use GXS or IBM. However, it does depend on industry. Like in healthcare, there's a global healthcare exchange, automotive, but then I guess retail apparel, it's OpenText. And
right.
What industry is IBM Sterling the gold standard?
IBM has got a lot of what I would just call process manufacturing. They don't really kind of define themselves as sort of in a given industry per se, but they've got a lot of obviously Fortune